is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says,
oh, hey, you're a mom? That's fabulous. But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Welcome to the Channelmom Show. We are here now. This is the show where we celebrate you as a mom. It's kind of a mom party around here, right, Sean? Just having a mom party. Yeah, it's got people's adrenaline going. Josh is going to be on the floor by the end of the show. My name is Jenny Dean Schmidt. I am your host, and I'm a mother myself. We are truly here to honor and love on the moms. In fact, we really just want to meet moms where they're at, to remind them of how important their job is, and to equip them to do it even better. We've got some great guests to do that today. First, a very inspirational mom who in her spare time has been able to whip up a book or two. Can you imagine writing a book in the middle of mothering? I'm not sure I can. Gwen Ford Falconberry writes inspirationals and even a romance novel set right here in Colorado. Also, you're going to love our second guest who tackles the idea of weight and diet in a whole new way. I know people say that all the time, but I really think this is different. Julie Hammerstein is the author of Fat is Not a 4-Letter Word. And she's going to offer some groundbreaking ideas on how to change your attitude about what it really means to be healthy. And I have a feeling, Shell, that she's not going to tell you that you need to be in a size 2.
I don't think so.
Yeah, she's got. Apparently, she struggled with weight as a kid herself. So she just and she looks to be in her pictures. I haven't seen her yet. Like she's in great shape now. So she gets both sides of it. You know?
Right.
She gets what it is to be both, to live both lives. To have lived both lives. Does that make sense? Okay, I kick off every show with a few words directed at moms to remind them of how fabulous they are, because they are. I think sometimes moms just need a little pick-me-up on a Saturday morning, not necessarily caffeine, so you can listen to my words and maybe they'll do the same thing. I'm going to talk about how moms hold a particular position that nobody else on the planet really holds in the same way. And let me see if you agree. Let's start by saying this. It's true that life comes out of the very belly of a mama. It's just the way it is. God designed women for this particular job, and except for the childbearing pains, I think most of us would not trade the privilege of giving birth. I sure wouldn't.
No, and we do it again and again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have friends with 10 kids. So yeah, they're addicted to it. But there is something else that I have noticed that goes on beyond a mom's job of giving birth to life. So see if you agree with my research findings. Most moms have this particular tendency to do something that they just cannot help. They constantly take care of the life around them. They nurture it, sustain it, and grow it. And so sometimes I wonder if the planet would actually continue if moms did not have this subconscious habit of continually making sure everything stays alive. Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. Think about it. As a mom, you walk through the house in the morning and you nurse the baby, or you get her a bottle, or you whip up a few bowls of cereal for the older kids. Then you water a few plants. Then you move on to the dog and refill his food bowl. Or like me, you might notice that the guinea pig has run out of water, so you take a few seconds to refill her water bottle, and you actually even say a few little sweet things to her like she can actually understand. My husband makes fun of me when I do that. Like she can tell what you're saying. And then you might pick up the phone and call a friend to see how she's doing. And then later you might make a nice dinner for your husband and kids. Or if you're a single mom, you come home exhausted after work and still manage to make dinner and help with homework. It's amazing. I mean, moms are keeping everything in the household and around them alive. So do your own little science experiment sometime and watch what mothers do in public. It's fascinating. They're buying the food in the grocery store to feed the families. They're carrying children as they go. They're unwrapping granola bars or putting a straw in the juice box. They're complimenting the store clerk or bringing a sick neighbor some soup, or dropping off cans at the food bank, or planting flowers in the garden, or buying a new kitty for an eager 5-year-old, or they're taking the dog for a walk, or baking something for the PTA bake sale, or whipping up a fruit salad for the office party. The point is that even though it goes unnoticed, moms are almost constantly making sure that life goes on. Feeding, watering, cooking, cleaning, comforting, donating, planting, listening, holding, kissing, and loving. Again, I'm never putting down the great men and fathers that are out there. Never. I'm never doing that. I'm just saying that what I observe is moms all over the planet, billions of mothers making sure that life is sustained. And I think a lot of people take this for granted, that somebody's doing it. And, oh, by the way, it's a mom. So thank you to every mom who's listening today for making sure that life goes on as best you can. If nobody else has noticed you doing this lately, I have. So thank you so much, moms, for making sure life goes on the planet. And now it's time for the news.
If you're tired of the same old news,
What more do you want?
I want the truth.
You're hearing it. Strap yourselves in, folks.
never fear.
What's the dealio?
Part of life is learning to let things go.
We've got news moms can use.
What was that name again? I missed that.
News moms can use.
In the news this week, we've got the latest stories, and we picked them based on what we think moms want or need to hear. And today, I think we've got to start with the jail sentence of the now very famous mother who was on trial for the death of her 2-year-old daughter. When that unfolded, sadly, it was so opposite to what I was just talking about. It's portraying a mother who does not sustain life, and of course, she was found not guilty, but for weeks, I think it was portrayed as though she was actually guilty, and that was not at all the picture of a mother that we want out there. You know what, though? First, I do want to start with this. Our prayers, our thoughts, our condolences go out to the family of Shannon Stone, who was at the Texas Rangers game and, of course, reached for a foul ball that Josh Hamilton had tossed to him, just, something that happens at every single game. And this is a daddy there with his 6-year-old son, reaches for the ball, probably for his son. I thought that when he did it, I thought, he made that extra effort because he wanted to give it to his boy.
He did.
It just makes me cry. So I just want to say that we want to acknowledge that, and our thoughts and prayers are with the Stone family, and also, of course, with Josh Hamilton, who's probably struggling today.
Right.
Alrighty, from Florida. Mother Casey Anthony was, of course, sentenced to just 1 additional year in prison, this for misleading police, and it's in addition to time already served, because she was found not guilty of killing her young daughter. And when this guilty or not guilty verdict came out, there was jubilation inside of the courtroom, of course, because the family was pleased, but outrage outside on the courthouse steps. And I'm curious what our average listener thinks about this case, if they indeed went with the jury or if they thought she had actually done it. Although Anthony was accused of first-degree murder in the death of her 2-year-old daughter Kaylee, Anthony's defense team convinced a jury she'd been wrongly accused. The defense also helped the 25-year-old Anthony dodge a possible death sentence. As news of the verdict spread, angry onlookers swarmed the front of the courthouse, chanting in unison, "We want justice and justice for Kaylee."
I don't know the story, though. Why was she misleading the police?
I think it's because after Kaylee died, she, was saying that, wasn't letting people know. Like, she hid the body and things like that. So maybe, the jury said she didn't do it, but yeah, they thought
That's
she was
strange.
guilty.
Very strange.
Yes. You are listening to the Channel Mom Show in kind of a strange way today, where we are celebrating you on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510, FM 93.7. I'm your host, Jenny Dean Schmidt. You can also watch us on channelmom.com or go to Facebook today. Our intern Kyle will be monitoring our Facebook page, and you can ask our guest questions. So that's kind of cool. And you'll want to stay tuned for the next segment, where we're going to talk about romance and inspiration with a mother who's written books on these topics. And the novel she wrote is actually set in the state of Colorado. Cannot wait to be inspired by Gwen Ford Falconberry. Up next.
'Cause nobody